I bet you didn't expect me to show up.
Because it's not your birthday, Nitwit.
Guess what? We're having a birthday party. I'm so excited. Sorry I can't stay in chat, but there's so much to do. Oh,
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, hey, my name's Lyssy. Be sure to subscribe to join the family today. Guys, we are getting so incredibly close to 1 million subscribers, so it would seriously mean so much if you guys would all hit that subscribe button, because I think we're only like 90-something thousand people away from 1 million. Also, when I hit 1 million followers, I have a huge surprise coming, and I don't want you guys to miss out on it, so be sure to that subscribe button and drop a like if you guys want me to do another video like today's video. If today's video gets to 20,000 likes, putting that number high, we'll do a part 2 of today's video. But today, guys, I decided that I was going to search the internet for the scariest, the weirdest, and the creepiest Chuck E. Cheese stories on the entire internet. So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. Since you guys love all the Chuck E. Cheese conspiracies, and when me and my friends go out to Chuck E. Cheese's at 3 a.m., although that's really scary, so today we're gonna do this instead. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the scary Chuck E. Cheese stories. Story number 1. So I found an article called 18 Chuck E. Cheese employees share their work horror stories. Let's read it. Where do I start? I guess the best one was when a customer who had lost touch with reality had fallen in love with the animatronic Helen. The bird. What? He fell in love with an animatronic? I mean, it's not like me and Chuck E. Cheese haven't been on a date or so. That was on our stage. He brought her an engagement ring at one point. What? Imagine somebody just walking into Chuck E. Cheese bringing an engagement ring to an animatronic. That's crazy. I would never do that. And was banned from the establishment. So I can't propose to Chuck E. Cheese, otherwise I'll get banned. That's so sad. Just kidding. That's a pretty weird story to start with. Okay, here's the next story on this article. There was also the time when my friend was in the mouse suit, forgot to strap the head on, and had it fall off in front of a birthday party of children. There was a lot of screaming and crying involved. It's actually kind of funny. It's not even scary at all. The next one says, I was the horror story in this case. I worked at a Chuck E. Cheese, and one day, I was asked to wake up Chucky for a birthday party. This meant I had to go put on the suit and take some pictures and dance. So I got to put on the suit and I come out to the party and the kids are so excited to see me. I did my little dance and a group of kids wanted to take a picture with Chucky. I had a cold and I wasn't really feeling well. And inside of that Chuck E. Cheese suit, it is super hot. So I passed out mid-picture and dropped to the floor. That's actually so sad but funny. Why am I laughing? I'm a messed up person. When I snapped out of it, all the kids were crying hysterically and yelling, Chucky's dead! Chucky is dead! My coworker dragged me by my shoulders into the back room and I ruined 3 birthday parties that day. That's so sad! Honestly, that would be so traumatizing though to see Chuck E. Cheese just like drop dead on the floor, like pass out. So this next one said, I worked at CEC for 2 years. I absolutely loved it. The common thing that I got was, how do you deal with all those bratty little children? The answer is simple. The kids are not the problem. It's the adults. I really wonder if that's true though. I feel like the adults are a little more wild than the kids sometimes at Chuck E. Cheese. Let's be real here. So the next story says, so I started during the end of summer. When the 4th quarter came around, our busiest time of the year, I volunteered to cover a friend's shift at Chuck E. Cheese. It was my first weekend in the 4th quarter as a birthday party host. We were at full capacity with the wait. It was very packed. At the time, the CEC host will do a song and dance. During this delightful performance, I see a rather large lady punch another woman in the face. What? All of a sudden, the entire balcony is involved in this fight. Why are there so many fights at Chuck E. Cheese's? Someone jumps on top of the balcony ledge and does a wrestling move on someone else. All adults, of course. There are kids around though because it's cake time. Some of the people on the floor next to the balcony are getting hit, but most of everybody was able to walk away. Unfortunately, a little newborn baby ended up getting hit with something. That's terrible. We only had one manager on duty and he called the cops quickly. It ended up taking several cops to break up the fight. Everyone's meal was calm. And ever since that incident 8 years ago, CEC hired county sheriffs to stand around as security from Thursday to Sunday every single week. That is so sad. Imagine all the kids that were just trying to have a good birthday and all of a sudden, bam, 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 adults are just getting in random fights at their Chuck E. Cheese birthday. That's so sad. How does anyone even get in a fight at Chuck E. Cheese? Like, What? I don't understand. Okay, so here's the next traumatizing story from a worker. I was a Chuck E. Cheese StarCast member for a while. 15 minutes before I was going to leave on break, a child peed inside of the crawl tube tunnels. Ew, that's so gross. There was a general manager on site who proceeded to tell me if I didn't clean it up, I should never bother coming back to work. Needless to say, I crawled up through the plastic tube tunnels to find out there was not only pee, but also poop from a child. Ew! That's actually so gross to think about. I bet a lot of accidents do happen in those play tunnels. Okay, so I found another article called All of the Horrible Things That Have Happened at a Chuck E. Cheese. These are all conspiracies, of course. I just want to put that out there. This is what the internet's saying. In 2015, a 63-year-old woman drove her car into a ditch, hit a telephone pole, and caused the tires to fly off of her car and go through the window of a nearby Chuck E. Cheese's. That is awful. I really hope that lady was okay. That's so sad. Man picked up the wrong child after eating Chuck E. Cheese pizza? How could you possibly go into Chuck E. Cheese and forget what your own kid looks like? What the heck? Who let these people have children? It was bound to happen at least once. And in January of 2016, a man literally picked up the wrong kid and almost walked away with him before realizing that he was holding the wrong child. That is just crazy. A skee-ball fight ends with assault charges? A skee-ball fight? After a grown woman pushed a 2-year-old who was playing skee-ball, the 2-year-old's mother decided to make things real and get into a fist fight with the other woman. The woman fell into the skee-ball machine and had to be broken up by the Chuck E. Cheese staff. What the heck? This one says things don't go well for a knife-wielding man in Chuck E. Cheese. If anything, the story of a man who tried to bring a knife into a children's restaurant and ended up catching a beatdown from the local sheriff should serve as a fable for all those unhinged guys who think there'll be one person who sneaks a knife into a children's birthday party. Oh, that's so scary. Why would anyone do that? Parents lose their daughter at a Chuck E. Cheese birthday. In 2012, 2 parents have suffered one of their biggest scares of their life when they saw their daughter report as missing on the local news. The girl, Harmony, arrived at the pizzeria with 4 adults and 10 children, but stayed inside after everyone left. She was released into the custody of her mother almost immediately after the news report aired. What if the animatronics tried to take her? A 4-year-old finds white powder in the pizza? A child found a bag containing white substance on the carousel at the pizzeria. The mother of the child said to the management to refuse to call the police when they were presented with the powder, and that the manager asked her to throw the bag away, solving the problem at its finest. That is so sketchy. I wonder if these stories are actually real. Mr. Cheese grabs a mom inappropriately? What? One of the employees, who was dressed as Chuck E. Cheese, groped a mother who was at the restaurant with her child. What the heck? He looked at her, reached out, and grabbed her. Now that is very not okay out of 10. If that's real. A former employee explains how the ball pit is cleaned. I actually was wondering about how they clean the ball pit. A former Chuck E. Cheese employee explained how his manager cleaned the ball pit. Don't ever let your kids, if you have them, play in the ball pits. They are rarely clean. When we did clean them, we put them in my boss's pickup truck in netted bags. Then we just went through a car wash. And not only that, there has been weird objects and dangerous weapons reported to be found in ball pits before, and things that have caused serious injuries to children. I am never jumping in another ball pit ever again. Ew! And last but not least, this worker says that he sees the animatronics move after the night shift. It was 8 p.m. when I was about to leave my shift at Chuck E. Cheese after working a very long day. All of a sudden, I looked over in the stage and the lights flashed off, all by themselves. Then out of the blue, just a single light above Chucky's head started to glow, and he blinked at me and turned. After that happened, I immediately ran out of the restaurant, and when I looked back, all the lights were back off again. And I swear that I saw all the animatronics moving their eyes following me out of the restaurant. That is so scary! Here's one of the stories I found from an employee who worked at Chuck E. Cheese. One time, one of the servers dropped a pizza that had just come out of the oven. He put the pizza on the tray to take out, but he dropped the tray top down onto the floor. It was really busy in the Chuck E. Cheese, so the server took a spatula, went all the way around the pizza, and flipped it back over. But the pizza somehow still looked perfect. He looked at it and said, "Forget it," and then served it to a party. About 10 minutes later, he was called to the table about the pizza he brought out, and they said that it was the best pizza that they ever had. First off, ew, that is so gross. I know a while back people were always talking about the Chuck E. Cheese pizza, saying that one thing about how they look uneven. Whenever a Chuck E. Cheese pizza would be delivered to the table, the pieces didn't line up or align correctly. And then people had the conspiracy or rumor that Chuck E. Cheese might be recycling their pizzas. But I think Chuck E. Cheese conveyed that to be false. They said that their pizzas are actually cooked fresh, and it's even on their boxes now. And I know in a previous video I found out tea that Chuck E. Cheese was hiding, where they actually made a second business connected called Pasquale's Pizza, and it's basically just Chuck E. Cheese but the name of another character in Chuck E. Cheese. And they were doing that because people were scared to eat Chuck E. Cheese pizza because they thought it was recycled. It's crazy how that happens, but like imagine if the pizza actually did fall and the server really did serve it to somebody and they're like, oh, that was some scrumptious pizza. I mean, that would really suck. Pretty gross. Next story. So this next one is really creepy. So this story was about a worker who was actually cleaning up the night at Chuck E. Cheese when he found something crazy. I was almost done with my shift for the day. I had had a really long day cleaning up after all the birthday parties, putting tickets in all the arcade machines, and running the prize booth at Chuck E. Cheese. But of course I had to pay my bills, and working at Chuck E. Cheese was the best option for me since I lived right next door. I remember when I was cleaning up that night and I was leading out all the families to leave before we shut the lights off and go home at the end of our shift, I heard crying in the ball pit. It was kind of strange because all the families had just left and there was no one else left inside of this Chuck E. Cheese. I then walked over to the ball pit and looked around and I didn't see anything. I then looked back at the stage and somehow the lights that I turned off on the stage magically had turned back on all by themselves. It almost looked like the animatronics had shifted position. Chuck E. Cheese was slouched over with his eyes wide open, and Helen Henny didn't look like she was in the same pose as she was before. I was really confused, so then I went over to the stage and turned the lights off. I then heard a little girl scream, help, please help, they were gonna get me. And it was coming from over where the ball pit was. At that point, I was so scared that I wanted to get out of my shift, but I knew that what if there was a kid in the ball pit that a family somehow had forgotten at Chuck E. Cheese. I dove inside the ball pit and there was nothing there. I was getting really creeped out. I looked back at the stage and one single light appeared over Chuck E. Cheese's head. And then Chuck E. Cheese opened his eyes even wider all by himself, staring directly at me. At that point, I was so creeped out, I almost considered quitting my job that night. I then went over to the stage to turn off the lights for a final time, grab the keys, and lock down the store and get out of there as soon as possible. But then once again, I heard a young girl cry, hey, please help, I'm scared. They're gonna get me. I looked over at the ball pit and to my surprise, there was a little girl hiding in the ball pit that I somehow missed. She explained how the animatronic actually was talking to her and told her that she better not leave or else he would get her. So she then hid in the ball pit in efforts to stay away from getting kidnapped from the scary animatronics she claimed that were talking to her. The guy explained to her that the animatronic could not talk and that she would be okay, and then asked where her mom was. She then started crying, saying she didn't know and that her family had left without her. And then the employee said, don't worry, I'll call the cops and we'll figure this out. He then reached for the cell phone, and when he was about to turn around and get the little girl's name, the little girl was gone. Then looked back at the stage and all the lights were completely dim over top all the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, and they looked to be in their regular setting position. All the lights in the Chuck E. Cheese turned off all by themselves, and he lost signal on the call, and he never saw the little girl ever again. That story is absolutely terrifying. That story actually keeps me up at night. I don't know if that Chuck E. Cheese was maybe just haunted or if the little girl really did go missing and an animatronic took her. Comment down below what you guys think. That story is crazy. That might be the scariest and most insane Chuck E. Cheese story I've heard yet. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and also if you guys have any scary stories about Chuck E. Cheese, comment them down in the comments down below because I am curious. The next story is also pretty crazy. You guys do know about the Chuck E. Cheese mascots, right? Well, before I tell the story, let me show you guys what an original Chuck E. Cheese mascot looked like. So here on the screen is the OG Chuck E. Cheese mascots, and it's crazy because I always talk about how much these animatronics and these mascots have changed over the years at Chuck E. Cheese. Like, the old ones were kind of scary. The new ones do look a lot more normal looking, but it does kind of take away the original Chuck E. Cheese vibes that I had growing up as a kid. When I was growing up as a kid, Chuck E. Cheese kind of looked like this, which actually was pretty chill. Like, I think that's the Chuck E. Cheese era I missed, when they had all the tube tunnels, the ball pits, the mascots, the really old animatronics. It just felt more like Chuck E. Cheese versus like now they're ripping out the animatronics and putting in dance stages and using these mascots. But anyways, let me tell you guys the tea about this next story because this one is scary. So this story is about a young lady who had just gotten employed to Chuck E. Cheese and she was about to become the rat. She didn't know that she was going to be the rat or the mascot. She thought she was going to be working the desk, but apparently when she was hired, they kind of tricked her into being the rat because nobody wanted to be the rat. And if you guys didn't know, at Chuck E. Cheese, when you're the rat, you have to do kind of embarrassing dances and you have to throw tickets, make it rain tickets on kids. You have to basically come out at every birthday party, deal with little kids tugging on you, parents getting mad at you. It's a lot of pressure, but nobody wanted to do it. She also, like the last person in the last story, needed some money to support her family and get a car and move out, so she worked at the Chuck E. Cheese because it was nearby. She then said fine, she would give a shot at being the Chuck E. Cheese rat even though she didn't want to. So her first day of training went fine. She learned how to put the costume mascot on. She learned the etiquette of being Chuck E. Cheese and learning all the dances and what to do and what not to do. But the next day when she came into work in the early morning, she was working the desk to start and everything was fine, giving out prizes at the ticket booth and helping kids in the arcade. But then there was a party that she had to dress up for. She then walked into the room where the Chuck E. Cheese mascot was supposed to be, but the costume wasn't there. She then asked her boss saying, hey, did someone take the costume? It's not there. And he said, oh, that's weird. It should be there, but have you checked the lower basement? And then the girl asked, what lower basement? And the guy was like, well, sometimes that mascot seems to like get moved around. We don't know if it's someone pulling a prank or something, but sometimes it's in the lower basement with our extra storage bin. So the girl says, okay, I guess. So then she decides to go down into the lower basement of this Chuck E. Cheese. When she went down into this basement of the Chuck E. Cheese, she said that apparently there was a lot of old expired looking cans of food. Beef cans, pepperonis in weird packaging, and weird old toys that Chuck E. Cheese seemed to not want to put in their prize booth. But then she saw the costume and it kind of caught her off guard. All of a sudden the costume looked like the face had changed and the eyes on the mascot looked angrier than usual. She then heard a weird mumble come from the costume head and she started to panic. She asked her boss if there was any kind of cat in the basement or animal or something down there that would be making a noise, and he proceeded to say no. Sometimes weird noises just come from the pipes in the basement. So she didn't think much of it, so she went downstairs to get the costume on. She brought it up and as she proceeded to put the costume on, all of a sudden once she put the head on, she heard a low evil voice whisper in her ears, take the head off. She then threw the head against the ground, and as she threw the head against the ground, she said the eyes of the mascot started to glow. She told her boss about this horrifying moment and her boss did not believe her. He said, if you don't go and put that costume on right now for the party that's going on right now, you are going to be fired. She then panicked because she knew she needed the money. She put the costume on and as she did, she started to feel really weird. But she went out to the party and as soon as she got there, she started doing the dance and throwing the ticket. Halfway through the party though, she didn't feel so good. Eventually, she ended up passing out and they had to send her to the emergency room. They claimed that she had fainted, but it seems a little weird since the costume seemed almost cursed. That night, she told the boss that she would never wear the costume again or never go back to work if she is forced to wear the costume. She believes that that mascot costume was haunted. And not only that, but the kids at the birthday party were traumatized for seeing Chuck E. Cheese pass out. She then decided to quit her job and the boss was really unhappy about it. Rumor has it that the next employee who was forced to wear the Chuck E. Cheese costume had the same exact similar experience. And he also ended up quitting too. And now that Chuck E. Cheese has a really hard time getting anyone to wear the Chuck E. Cheese costume. That story is crazy! Oh my. I actually found out that a lot of the Five Nights at Freddy's videos that were being posted to TikTok and a lot of conspiracies that were being posted were getting deleted. I don't know why, because technically there's not anything super wrong with these videos. I mean, we're just talking about FNAF and how it might possibly be real. I guess some kids found this stuff like way too scary, and there was a specific character or two or three that have been scaring a lot of kids in the Five Nights at Freddy's spectrum, and I'm going to be talking about these particular characters. So the one image I found online that's brought a lot of attention to the Five Nights at Freddy's possibly being real situation is this image right here. I'll actually put it on the screen, but basically this is a character called Glitch Trap, and this character is terrifying. Not only is this possibly a real image of the real life Glitch Trap, but take a look at this. Five Nights at Freddy's will be real tonight. Kids vanished at a local pizzeria and their bodies were not found. Two local children reportedly lured into a back room during the late night hours of operation of a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria on the night of June 26th. While the video surveillance identified the non-impossible and led to hide capture the following morning, the children themselves were never found and pretty much assumed to be dead. which is so scary. And then I looked up Glitch Trap and it said, is Glitch Trap really real? Glitch Trap is the main antagonist in Five Nights at Freddy's VR. He exists as a digital virus within the Freddy Fazbear virtual experience, appealing to be William Afton manifested into the form of a suit version of the Spring Bonnie, which is kind of terrifying. Also, a lot of other searches revolved around these things right here. Who made Glitch Trap? What does Glitch Trap look like? And how do I get rid of Glitch Trap? You guys might be wondering more about what does Glitch Trap really look like. Since that photo was kind of hard to tell, let me tell you guys. Glitch Trap is mainly golden in color with a lighter accent on his ears, torso, and his snout. His face is egg-shaped with bright purple eyes, short eyelashes, and long, thin eyebrows. He has two back whiskers on either side of his snout and a large grinning mouth, sporting off white teeth with two larger ones on the top. Absolutely horrifying. I mean, look at him. He's kind of scary. But honestly, guys, this Chuck E. Cheese stuff is getting out of control. Have you guys seen all this stuff that's still being posted about all this? Breaking news! Caller, we have several injured people here at the Chuck E. Cheese. That's suspicious. Huh. That's strange. Five Nights at Freddy's is real. Confirmed. Five Nights at Freddy's shop? What? An actual restaurant? The Hurricane Times. Fredbear's Family Diner has closed due to the recent incident involving the Fredbear animatronic. The restaurant's owner, William Afton, and Henry Miller have not got any information on what really happened in the walls of that diner. All they have given to us is that the restaurant will certainly be closed. Luckily, a witness of the incident named Michael Afton has come forward and told us what happened down below with his message. It was my younger brother's birthday today. We came to Fredbear's from school to celebrate his birthday, and me and my friends started bullying him. Despite the clear look of fear in his eyes, we continued. Later, it went too far, and we grabbed him, and then when no one was looking, we took him over to the stage, and that's when the incident happened. That's all I want to say, Michael Afton. That is creepy! Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Sure does look like a real Freddy Fazbear's. Why are there so many pictures on Google of actual Freddy Fazbear's pizzerias? Did they just shut down? Are they possibly actually real? I just do not know. Not only that, but this video is super weird. It makes me think that like animatronics might really be able to like have a soul inside of them. Like look at this. This little kid's like saying hi to Chuck E. Cheese. And all of a sudden, Chuck E. Cheese just tries to go down and grab the smile child. Look! It's so scary!
Helen, if you bust
This video is strange
right now
too. Take a look.
to Kids Bop, I will throw money at you. I saw that glance. I know you're listening. Listen, bust down and sing Kids Bop,
Bust
and I will
down,
personally
Tatiana.
throw money in your pants.
That glare was actually terrifying. Like, is it possible that animatronics can actually get like haunted? Or something's up with them. Something is up with these scary animatronics. I don't care if it's Chuck E. Cheese. I don't care if it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Something is going on, and I want to get to the bottom of this. Put your head in his mouth. What in the actual animatronic? That animatronic looks so old. That is so scary. What the heck? Did anyone else hear the screams behind the curtains? What is going on at this Chuck E. Cheese? Oh my gosh. No! Now I actually want to know what's behind the curtains for real. Like, maybe I'll have to go check sometime. This girl has a real Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic? Why? Are they actually planning on opening a real Five Nights at Freddy's? Maybe these people are making them so that they can actually open a real Five Nights at Freddy's pizzeria. What the heck?
Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where I wanna be. Five Nights at Freddy's.
That was a bop, Jack Black. You know what? That is a quality meme. I know it's not scary. Five Nights at Freddy's. What's crazier is I've seen a lot of crazy videos about Five Nights at Freddy's. And like these animatronics look like they're real. But actually, these videos right here are just some really good cosplays. Shout out to anyone who made those costumes. Those are crazy. Like, I actually thought for a second Five Nights at Freddy's was really real. Look at this one. Oh my god, she's so thick. Extra double kicked up on a Tuesday night. Oh wow, that's crazy. Whoa, what is this? Wow, people make some really cool, like, special effects videos with Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, this is actually really good. Wow. This is talent, guys. Like, I've seen some crazy, like, Five Nights at Freddy's things that, like, literally, you watch the video and you will think it's real, which I think it might still be real, but, like, these videos make it look so incredibly real. What the heck? Animatronic crawling on the ground? Oh my gosh. That is really creepy. Okay, that video, I don't know if that was real or not. That one actually has me wondering. Is it real? Is that actually real? I don't know, guys. With all these crazy rumors of Chuck E. Cheese going bankrupt, to the 5 kids missing, to the weird Chuck E. Cheese manual guide that was leaked on Twitter, to all of these TikToks and videos on the internet that were actually being removed by the internet and TikTok about different Five Nights at Freddy's characters possibly being real, conspiracies, and more, something still seems off about Five Nights at Freddy's. What do you guys think? Is it real? Chuck E. Cheese was actually supposed to be a coyote. Yeah, so the first drafts ever of Chuck E. Cheese before he was created or before that restaurant chain came out, they actually wanted Chuck E. Cheese to be a coyote mascot that serves pizza to the children. However, that wasn't fitting enough for their whole idea, so it ended up becoming a rat. They originally were gonna call it Rick Rat's Pizza, but his marketing pros wisely talked him out of putting rat in the restaurant name. Then they settled on Chuck E. Cheese instead. So basically, they didn't want the restaurant to sound kind of like gross, like rats, because rats kind of have a bad name to themselves, and coyotes did not fit their vibe of cheese pizza. They just didn't feel like that was fitting enough, so Chuck E. Cheese kind of was the name that they decided for the restaurant chain. Also, Chuck E. Cheese's were based on the idea of a carnival, and they were actually inspired by Disneyland's Enchanted Tiki Room, which I find so surprising. If you guys have never been in a Tiki Room before, it's basically this little room you go in, and a bunch of animatronic birds start singing, and they move around, and there's like a whole little show that kind of goes on. So I guess he loved that so much that he decided to bring that into his own little arcade with a bunch of animatronics singing on a stage. But it doesn't really have any extreme correlation to the Tiki Room. The Tiki Room was more, you know, settling and realistic, while the animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese are a little more terrifying. Chuck E. Cheese's full name is Charles Entertainment Cheese. According to his official backstory, he is an orphan. He never had his own birthday, so instead he feels the void of hosting birthday parties for everyone else because sadly, he never had his own, and even when he did have his own, nobody came. But Chuck E. Cheese had some fate because he eventually got a band full of other characters. At first, Chuck E. Cheese was Showbiz Pizza, but over time it developed and changed along the way. Showbiz Pizza was a lot more terrifying than Chuck E. Cheese. Like, the characters at Showbiz, they creeped me out so much. They were the first original drafts of what we now know to be Chuck E. Cheese, but a lot of those characters are scraped out of the picture, and obviously Chuck E. Cheese has changed over time to have the current band that it now has. Another thing about Chuck E. Cheese that a lot of people are terrified of is claiming that the animatronics can move all by themselves. People say that overnight when the whole Chuck E. Cheese restaurant is shut off, that the animatronics are able to blink, twitch, slouch over creepily, and some people say that when they're not running, they see them just do weird things they're not supposed to do. Well, if you guys didn't know, Chuck E. Cheese animatronics were designed a certain way where there is an air pump filtrated system inside of them so they can last and be maintained a long time, unlike the original animatronics that were created from like the first ever Chuck E. Cheese's, like Rock-afire Explosion and stuff. They were designed a little differently and way harder to keep up with, so the animatronics were not going to last as long, but Chuck E. Cheese animatronics could most likely outlive us because of the quality and the way that they're built, because they're built with just that air pump system inside of them to keep them running and to keep them pretty easily maintained. But since the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics have become so much of a worry for children and kind of like a scary concept, sadly they decided that they're going to be removing and taking them all out, and it's already started to begin like right now. Like, they're starting to do this now, and it's kind of sad, but also the kids were scared. What we've seen over time with the improvements in tech with screens and expectations of kids today, the animatronics are not the main draw of the kids anymore. The kids apparently lost interest in these animatronics, and now when they go to Chuck E. Cheese, nobody wants to watch the animatronics perform on stage because they find them to be eerie. Almost like there's webcams inside their eyes that are watching around the restaurant to follow kids around, and the kids just are downright creeped out by this. A lot of kids end up crying, running away, and never wanting to go back to Chuck E. Cheese ever again when they look into one of these animatronics' eyes. And it's gotten to a point where Chuck E. Cheese just feels like there's no need to have them anymore. So they're ripping them down and completing this plan very soon where they're going to add dance floors into all the Chuck E. Cheeses and get rid of all of the animatronics forever. It's kind of sad, Rest in peace, Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. But, I mean, it did have to happen someday. All good things come to an end. Another really creepy thing that's been happening is there's this certain game where there's like a water gun, and it's kind of like a race. And basically, this is a concern because water shoots out of this gun, and there's a lot of kids that, for some reason, decide to try to treat this game like a water fountain because they're so young and they don't know better enough. Well, rumor has it a few kids have tried to put their mouths in front of these nasty arcade games water machine pump thing and drink out of it like it's a water fountain. And it made some kids very, very ill because these are actually arcade games that have to have certain chemicals inside of them to be kept in the arcade and run throughout the day because it's an arcade game, not a drinking fountain. And the kids that ended up drinking out of this shooting water game got really, really sick. It was not good, and we don't even know how long that water has been sitting in the machine for with those chemicals. Another really creepy fact is that the ball pits at Chuck E. Cheese are rarely ever cleaned. There's like gross greasy pizza slices in the bottom of these things, diapers, lost toys, who knows what else is at the bottom of the ball pit. However, some Chuck E. Cheese employees that say they've worked there said they were quite shocked how little the balls were cleaned and how they were cleaned when they actually were. One Chuck E. Cheese employee says that they actually just grabbed all the balls together with a net and took them through a car wash to sanitize them down. However, that employee felt like it wasn't enough for all of those balls that constantly have little children crawling inside of there, you know, licking the balls, eating the balls. It doesn't sound right. You know, just doing kid stuff inside the ball pit and like diapers and ew, it's just so gross. So personally, I'm gonna stay out of the ball pit. I don't want to know what's happening in there. So another concerning thing about Chuck E. Cheese and all arcades, which I don't really find this one to be a concern, but some people do, so all due respect if you do. Some people think that arcades could be an influence on children to start gambling. So basically, Chuck E. Cheese always used to have that kind of like token concept where kids would get tokens, they could play games like Plinko, you know, and some games even look like they did represent gambling to an extent. And people believe that the arcades that were based for children were going to eventually lead those children to gamble further on in life because it would start that addiction young. Basically, I mean, in a sense, you are trying to like pay money for games to win a really, really cheap prize like a lollipop or a sticky hand, which obviously in the end benefits the arcade, they profit there. But in some sense, it could start an addiction to the kids where they just want to keep going back to win lollipops and more prizes and more toys, which could potentially lead to further addictions in the future for money-based games, which is a really interesting concept and kind of scary if they are trying to like manipulate and brainwash kids at a young age to get into those kind of things. Another really creepy and gross and disturbing fact about Chuck E. Cheese is how dirty the mascot costumes can actually get. So a lot of Chuck E. Cheese employees, especially ones who had to play Chuck E. Cheese, have said not only is it a nightmare to be the rat when all the kids are running around trying to beat you up, yeah, they get beat up in their job, you know, pull your tail, try to like rip off your head, and who knows, maybe you could even faint in there because it's so hot and it's just full of foam and stuffy. But they say that they don't get to wash those costumes a whole lot because it's a whole process, so they rarely ever get washed. Yeah, so those costumes are very, very stinky. And some employees go in there wearing makeup, so the makeup gets all over the mascot head and the foam. Some people, you know, they just have to like get in there after a shift where somebody else was just Chuck E. Cheese and they smell like their body odors in there. Ew, it's so gross. Like, there's no way for them to like wash it down very often enough to like keep running that because most locations only have one Chuck E. Cheese costume which all of the employees borrow. Ew, that's so gross. Okay, that's nasty. Another crazy thing about Chuck E. Cheese is that there has been so many fights that have broke out. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but they're all over the internet. Basically, if you guys didn't know, Chuck E. Cheese actually sells alcohol. I don't know why, because it's a children's place. I find that very strange, but alcohol has kind of caused a few problems at Chuck E. Cheese birthdays with the adults. Sometimes families have a big fight, and it doesn't end well, to say the least. It sometimes ends in a fight, and a lot of really sad birthday parties. Poor kids. Speaking of adult-like Chuck E. Cheese behavior, did you guys know that Chuck E. Cheese used to actually smoke a cigar and promote it publicly? Yeah, back when Chuck E. Cheese first started, Chuck E. Cheese was spotted with a cigar in his mouth quite often because back then I guess that was more socially acceptable, but it would never cut it today, and especially for a children's figure. I was shocked seeing that he actually had a character representing someone who smoked, which is crazy. Smoking is not good, kids. And last but not least, this other fact I found was pretty crazy because I've covered Barbie before in a few videos. You guys might be wondering, why am I bringing up Barbie? Well, our two favorite people, Chuck E. Cheese and Barbie, have done a collaboration, believe it or not, which is bizarre to me. I don't even know why they would collaborate. Back in 1995, there was a special release Barbie that had a doll wearing a sweet-looking Chuck E. Cheese shirt. Then in 2001, another one was released, and I bet those go for a lot of money on eBay because those were complete collector items. Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. As a kid, whenever you'd walk into a Chuck E. Cheese, you'd see, obviously, the bright ball pit filled with rainbow balls, and you never really thought about what could be inside of the ball pit. Well, there has been a variety of horror stories over the years, especially on Reddit forums, where people say that they found things in the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit that were not supposed to be there, all the way from snakes, knives, bad things that I can't even say on camera, just awful things that have been found in the ball pit. But I'm going to share a specific story from a past Chuck E. Cheese employee about things that they have witnessed, and one horror story in particular about the ball pit. So one story that this employee talked about with the ball pit was so horrifying that I'm going to tell it to you guys. So this one employee said they were cleaning up the ball pit, and every single night when they would shut down, sometimes they would take the balls out of the pit, you know, scoop out what's beneath the pit, and then try to clean them off. Like, they'd hose off the balls like once or twice a month, which is kind of gross. Anyways, so this one employee who was cleaning up one night at the Chuck E. Cheese shift, cleaning up the ball pit, said she heard a little girl's voice from the ball pit, said, "Hey, over here." So then the employee began to worry because they were shut. The whole Chuck E. Cheese had turned off its lights, like they were closing down for the night, all the kids were gone, and now she's hearing the voice of a small child inside of this Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. Anyways, so she ended up going over to the ball pit, like freaking out, like, "Hello, where are you? Hello, is there a kid?" And then she stopped hearing the voice and she started digging more, and she heard from the other side behind her another whisper going, "Hey, over here." And she turned around to see a dark figure behind her that just vanished when she saw a hand slide into the ball pit, and she dug around and she said there was nothing there. They ended up cleaning out the whole ball pit, saw nothing there. They checked the security camera footage and they still didn't see what the girl saw. So they think that she had seen a ghost in this Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. Apparently, she ended up quitting the job. She was so terrified she didn't want to go back after that. And a few other employees at this same Chuck E. Cheese had similar but different experiences with this exact Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. Somebody said that they had seen a figure of a kid walk into the ball pit, emerge down, and just disappear. And another employee said that they had heard growling noises inside the ball pit, sounding kind of like a dog or some sort of animal when they were closing down for the night. So that's kind of creepy. I don't know what's going on at Chuck E. Cheese's being haunted, but that's kind of weird. Anyways, moving on from the ball pit, we haven't talked about the tube tunnels. The tube tunnels have a lot of horror stories connected to them as well, for their own liking, but we're going to talk about the tube tunnels. So as you guys know, the ball pits are usually by the tube tunnels. The tube tunnels are those fun little tunnels that you get to crawl around inside of. Anyways, there's been a lot of horror stories revolving around the tube tunnels. One story revolves around a little girl who actually got stuck inside the tube tunnels. So this is pretty bad. There was a little girl enjoying her evening with her family at Chuck E. Cheese one day when she ended up crawling into the tube tunnels. So there's this one tube tunnel with like a car. I don't know if you guys remember it, but if you crawl so far, you know, you get into this like little race car and it makes noises. Anyways, when she was in this car tube tunnel at the Chuck E. Cheese, it eventually ended up falling partially and she got stuck, so she was just hanging there freaking out like, "Help me, help me!" And they had to get the fire department to go to this specific Chuck E. Cheese apparently and take her out of this car thing because the whole structure bent. I don't even know how this happens. New fear unlocked, getting stuck in a tube tunnel and having to get the fire department to unlatch you. That's kind of scary. I don't know, but she was okay, so that's all that matters according to this random Reddit story that I found. I don't even know if it's true, but that's what Reddit said. Another story I've heard about the tube tunnels is that there has been a lot of interesting things that have happened in the tube tunnels. There's been times where obviously like adults sneak into there when they're not supposed to, but I mean, we all have that urge to like crawl in the tube tunnel tunnels. But we're not supposed to be in there. It's for kids. We all know that. And there's been other times where people say they found dangerous things stuck in the tube tunnels, like people piling bugs inside of there when they're not supposed to, kids pulling pranks on other kids, trapping them in the tube tunnels, pouring like gross liquids into the tube tunnels and then getting stuck in there, and gross poopy diapers. I don't need to go on about it, but tube tunnels are a new fear unlocked as well as the ball pit. Moving along, we're gonna get into some different stories. So the next story actually revolves around a tragedy that happened in 2015. So back in 2015, there was a girl from Indiana who was 63 years old, and she was driving past a Chuck E. Cheese when she ended up going off the road and slamming into her local Chuck E. Cheese. And this already is a horror story on its own. You know where this is gonna go. She eventually slid into the parking lot of Chuck E. Cheese from some sort of accident and then slammed through the Chuck E. Cheese, actually injuring 3 children sitting inside eating pizza at the tables. One 12-year-old had wounds on his head and left arm, and one 5-year-old had wounds on both. And I think one parent was also injured that was sitting at the table with these children as well. They all had to go to the hospital, and unfortunately the bad part is the lady driving actually died in this accident when she slammed through the local Chuck E. Cheese. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. I still to this day don't know what happened to this lady, but there's been a lot of rumors about dark things at that Chuck E. Cheese ever since. So another Chuck E. Cheese horror story. This one is pretty dark, but you know how when you go into a Chuck E. Cheese and you stamp or you have your kid's hand stamped, or you have your hand stamped, they do this for safety precautions because back in the days, before they started stamping kids' hands, there was really creepy incidents where kids were almost kidnapped or were kidnapped at Chuck E. Cheese. So this is really, really scary, but there was a time back before they started stamping hands at Chuck E. Cheese when there was these creepy people that would go into Chuck E. Cheese's and look for kids who were off playing games, and they would be lured in with like tickets and stuff, or you know, vice versa, like, hey, come over here, we have free pizza if you want some, kind of thing. Anyways, so Chuck E. Cheese, that's obviously a place where a lot of kids go, so creepy people would go in there. And there was times where, you know, they'd be lured in with like a prize, like, oh, I have this really cool prize. If you come over here, you know, you can have it, or if you come in my car, etc. So there's been times where kids have literally gone missing at Chuck E. Cheese to this day to not have been found. But there's also a really creepy story that I read online about the animatronics. And these are all urban legends, so I just want to point that out. These are urban legends, but there's this one story about a little kid who claimed that he heard a voice coming from one of the animatronics in Chuck E. Cheese. This kid was looking at the animatronics and he said, Mom, Dad, the purple animatronic just said, come over here. And the parents were like, no, they don't speak. And the son was like, yes, they do, Mom. He said, come over here. So the kid crawled up on the stage by the animatronics and he was looking at all of them, and he saw that there was a curtain in the back, so he decided to crawl back in the curtain when his parents weren't looking. Rumor has it, he ended up crawling into the back of the curtain backstage by all the animatronics, ooh, spooky, and ended up not being found for 2 days after that. Then, accordingly, when the parents got him back, the kid said, I can't tell you what happened. The animatronics were talking to me, and everyone's like, no, your kid just snuck into the back of the animatronics and sat there for 2 days when he wasn't supposed to. But to this day, people have rumors and conspiracies that there's something darker about those animatronics. But nah, you just never know, so we love urban legends. And last but not least, there's been so many numerous reports of people that work the Chuck E. Cheese night shift seeing and hearing things that they aren't supposed to hear from the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. So as you guys know, I love covering paranormal, but I also love covering animatronics, and a lot of these stories have to do with both of those things. There is this one specific location that there is a little ghost who actually haunts the top floor in an attic at a Chuck E. Cheese. It used to have a full floor of animatronics. It's actually the world's biggest Chuck E. Cheese. I think it's in San Francisco. Anyways, back before they pulled the animatronics out, the workers who were working there had some crazy true stories that they shared online, especially on the Reddit forums, and I have to share some of those with you guys. So one of these workers was hired for just about a week, and she simply was shutting off the lights, you know, turning off the animatronics at night, and she claims that every time she'd turn off the animatronics, she'd shut them off for the night. They'd be facing one way, and then she'd turn around just to like check, make sure there's no one in the Chuck E. Cheese. All of them would be completely the other opposite direction, and they would do this every single night. And she started losing her mind, so she would tell her boss, like, hey, are they supposed to reset? Are they supposed to turn, switch sides like that? Like, I'd turn them off and they'd all be facing one direction, and then I'd turn around and I swear that they're the other direction. And the boss is like, no, they don't do that. Once you shut them off, the air compressors inside just kind of fall and they just like slouch over, but they're not supposed to turn. So she ended up keeping a camera out one night, and she filmed every time that this was supposed to happen. Like, it had happened all the nights when she wasn't filming, and she claims that her camera would just die, the batteries would just drain, or the camera would die, and then as soon as she turns off, you know, the camera, that she'd turn around and then they'd do it again. So she could never get evidence of this, and she felt crazy. Some of her other co-workers never witnessed the same things, but they had witnessed other things where some of them said that they claimed they heard a little girl running behind the curtains of the animatronics giggling, just like laughing, and they'd look behind the curtains of the stage of the animatronics and they'd be like, no one's there. While other people claimed that these animatronics would sing and dance and move after hours at night. When people would walk past the Chuck E. Cheese building at night, they'd look into the windows and they'd see the animatronics like shifting or moving and blinking all by themselves when the whole place was shut off and they were shut down at this specific Chuck E. Cheese. That's crazy! As Chuck E. Cheese is reportedly in the process of eliminating their animatronics all across every establishment. Let's take a look at this tea, guys.
Chuck E. Cheese is reportedly in the process of eliminating their animatronics across all their establishments.
No!
And the removal process involves destroying the animatronics
What?
with video documentation to prove
Video
compliance,
documentation?
while the official explanation cites copyright reasons.
Oh my god.
There is speculation that preventing the animatronics from falling into the wrong hands may be an underlying motive. The
What?
requirement to smash these animatronics with hammers and record the process has caught attention.
Wait, that's literally, whoever used this video, they used my video. Holy crap, I just realized that that's my nails. That's my video. Oh my god, that's literally my old Chuck E. Cheese. They took the animatronics out already. And if they really do have to like record themselves like smashing and breaking the animatronics, that is messed up. That is messed up that they're taking them and they're just ruining them and they're not like putting them in a museum or doing something with them. Like, why would they just destroy beautiful art like that?
Many expressing curiosity about witnessing such destruction. Chuck E. Cheese justifies this drastic measure by stating that the animatronics no longer align with their current brand image.
They don't?
Some speculate that the association
That's
with
like
the
their
game
whole
Five
brand.
Nights at Freddy's may have contributed to the perception of these animatronics as creepy,
I bet
contrary
they
to
have.
their original intent. Despite the controversy, there is a sentiment of nostalgia associated with these animatronics, which are being replaced with an electronic dance floor.
That's
Many
so
users express their
sad.
frustration as their childhood memories are
So they're literally taking all the animatronics out just to replace it with this, a hologram electric dance floor. That is awful. And then all they're gonna have is the mascot costumes now that come out like every hour. They're literally ruining everyone's childhood. Like, everybody loves the animatronics. Like, they come for the animatronics. They don't want to just have a dance floor. That's just not the move.
being thrown out and replaced.
And then being thrown out, that just makes me want to cry. Like, my childhood just got thrown into the trash. Like, the fact that they're doing this, they're gonna regret doing that. Oh man, we got more about them destroying their animatronics.
Chuck E. Cheese has no choice but to get rid of all of their
No
animatronics.
choice.
Some people are saying that this is because of copyright reasons, but I think it's because they don't want these animatronics to get into the wrong people's hands. Now listen, this
Well, I think that is the other conspiracy, is like, if somebody gets a hold of a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic and they do something bad with it, then it ruins their brand reputation, so that's why they're destroying them. But still, what if they make sure it goes into the right hands, or why do they care that much?
is just a theory, but ever since the Five Nights at Freddy's movie has come out, Chuck E. Cheese has been on a little bit of a weird tear.
They
all of
really
a sudden having to
have.
destroy all of their animatronics, and when you're set to destroy the animatronics, you have to actually film a video showing that you destroyed
Oh,
it
why?
as like, physical proof. Which
That's
having to
terrible.
film a video while destroying the animatronic makes me extremely
Oh, look at that
uncomfortable. Because
animatronic
what
right
if somebody
there.
was actually trying to make a real life Five Nights at Freddy's? Genuinely,
kinda
think
cool,
about it. What
though.
if somebody really wanted to create like a real life, real adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's?
That'd
They
be
can do that if they
awesome.
bought these Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.
That
Now,
would
it's
be
said
so
that Chuck E. Cheese
cool.
has said that it's because they want to rebrand and they don't match their brand anymore. But I think ever since
That's just crazy to me, though. Imagine having a brand and like you're known for something for so long. You have these characters, and then one day you just wake up, you're like, yeah, they don't fit the brand anymore. Like, What? I want to open my own new pizzeria with my own new animatronics because Chuck E. Cheese did not deserve this.
Since this Five Nights at Freddy's movie has come out, Chuck E. Cheese has taken a massive hit. Because, let's be real, I'd rather go to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and have the chance to get eaten by one of the cool animatronics.
Everybody
than go
loves
to
the
Chuck E.
creepy
Cheese.
aspect of it.
I just hope we really get an actual answer on why they want a video filmed while destroying their animatronics.
I kind of want to answer from Chuck E. Cheese too because I love Chuck E. Cheese personally and I have a lot of questions for them as to why they thought that that was the move. So this girl is going to be talking about a very popular image, which I'm sure you guys have seen. It's an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. Let's take a look.
Have you ever seen the creepy photo of the abandoned Chuck E. Cheese that was
I
found
sure
in
have.
the landfill?
This photo haunts
If not,
me.
let me show you. It's so creepy.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is a little creepy. Well, imagine, wait, what if one of the workers who went to destroy the animatronic and film it left this one out in the landfill? But then, honestly though, finding this destroyed is a worse look for Chuck E. Cheese than like, you know, actually putting it somewhere else or doing something else with it because like, that's creepy. That's gonna scare kids away. It's gonna mess with their brand image. Like, they really want to destroy the animatronics like this. Like, that does not look good. What is this video? This kid is just with Chuck E. Cheese and he's grabbing him. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, this guy comes in, he's like, you don't do that! And then Chuck E. Cheese looks right at him. Did you guys see his eyes? He literally looked at them. Is that the mom? I don't know, but that was scary.
This Chuck E. Cheese still has the animatronics after it was announced that they will be getting rid of them all. And honestly, they're kind of creepy. I used to love these things
they're
as a
amazing,
kid,
though.
and it'll be pretty sad when these eventually go.
I'm gonna
But
cry.
I definitely won't be in a room with them alone.
What?
Make sure to like and subscribe.
He wouldn't be in a room with them alone? I would! Just saying. Missing animatronic from Chuck E. Cheese.
Have you heard about the missing Chuck E. Cheese animatronic? In the 80s, Chuck E. Cheese had a chain of bars that provided animatronic entertainment similar to the pizza line.
You're telling me there was a Chuck E. Cheese bar back in the day? How did I not know about this till this very moment right now? Oh, that would have been the place. That would have been my place. I mean, I'm just kidding.
The animatronic that was used was a wolf named Zap. The restaurant was called Zap's Bar and Grill, and oddly enough, there's zero images or video of any location available. The show tapes used to make the animatronics come to life also have never been discovered. But then this image surfaced in 2015, discovered on Instagram, that shows what looks like to be Zap.
That looks like it could be Zap. I wonder if it is, if it has been confirmed that that was the one that they had in the bar.
This photo comes from a parade hosted in Nevada, and there's no other information out there other than a few other pictures of Zap the animatronic showing up. That's literally where the story ends.
That's crazy. I need to know more about the Zap lore, how he was created, how long that Chuck E. Cheese bar lasted. I have a lot of questions. That'd be a really interesting deep dive if I go down some like deep dark Reddit forums about the Chuck E. Cheese bar. I need more answers, but that is one of Chuck E. Cheese's biggest secrets. Oh man, Chuck E. Cheese is about to bust it down on the dance floor. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. Oh my god. Oh, that kid was traumatized. And now he's putting his hat on and running into the back rooms. Oh no. That Chuck E. Cheese just ruined those kids' days. They were like, he wasn't real? Those kids are never gonna look at Chuck E. Cheese the same ever again. That is traumatic. This Chuck E. Cheese animatronic was left alone in a room and it started singing on its own. Did it? Oh, Mr. Munch! What are you doing back there? That is so creepy, the way he's like trying to play his like keyboard, but he doesn't have his keyboard. He's like, he looks weird. Chuck E. Cheese disturbing secret. Oh, I need to know.
I discovered something disturbing at my Chuck E. Cheese. I was in charge of maintenance for the animatronics, ensuring that they're in tip-top shape, I guess you could say. But one night became my last at this establishment. But first, let's go to August 14th, 1984. At 5 a.m., I got in, ready to do my usual checkup to ensure everything would be fully functional. At 5 a.m., I got in, ready to do my usual checkup to ensure everything would be functional by 8 a.m. when the store opens. But as I went down all the animatronics and checked them off my list, I noticed I had one that was unchecked. Jasper Jowls. Well, it is 5 a.m. I probably forgot to check him. So I went back to the stage, and when I looked, he wasn't there. Was he faulty and had to be taken back for maintenance? Why wasn't I informed about this? The notes from last night's checkup from another maintenance guy says that he was checked, and there were no problems with him. Didn't appear like a break-in occurred overnight. All the doors and windows are intact. Our boss is usually awake by this time, so I gave him a call. Hey Chip, was the Jasper animatronic animatronic removed last night? No. Why? What happened? It's gone. Gone? The police arrived. They too agree that a break-in was improbable. So it was suspected that either the other maintenance guy or the security guard had taken him. Those parts do cost a pretty penny.
That's like a $10,000 animatronic.
It didn't seem like the security guy was here, actually. And the tape for the security footage from last night is blank. The next morning, I came in once again and did my rounds with the remaining animatronics we had. And that's when I noticed Jasper was back. When I called my boss to ask what happened, he told me not to worry about it. He had no idea that Jasper was going to be refurbished and cleaned up. That is true, he does look clean, except for this red-looking stain on him. Just then, I heard a weird sound coming from the kitchen. Tune into the next episode to see what happens next.
Oh, they are not gonna leave us on like a tune into the next part. I need to know what happened to Jasper Giles, and I need to know right now. I am on to them. Imagine that. The animatronic just appears after being taken and has a stain on him. Oh, we all know something else was not quite right. Okay, so this kid is having a Chuck E. Cheese birthday. That's about to be me in a month. I'm really excited. Anyway, she looks really excited, but let's see what's going on here. They're all singing happy birthday. Chucky is watching her! No! And then the imposter Chucky's behind her, but oh my god, why is he looking at the birthday girl like that? Does she even notice? He's still just staring. Look at his eyes and ears. Oh no, the birthday girl is about to be a part of the FNAF, but making Chuck E. Cheese. That's scary. The Chuck E. Cheese Massacre. What is this?
Did y'all hear about the Chuck E. Cheese Massacre from 1993? On December 14th, 1993, 5 employees were shot at a Chuck E. Cheese in Aurora, Colorado. One of the victims was seriously injured, while the other 4 unfortunately passed away. The shooter was 19-year-old Nathan Dunlap, who committed the attack because he was upset about being fired 5 months prior. And after the attack, he fled the scene with stolen money and restaurant items. Dunlap was found guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder and attempted murder. Now in 96, he was sentenced to lethal injection that was supposed to occur in 2013. But that was changed to life without parole in 2020 after Colorado abolished the death penalty. The victims were
I did not expect to click into a Chuck E. Cheese entire like true crime story. Like this is sad and a lot to take in. I have a lot of questions about why at a Chuck E. Cheese. How did it start? I don't even want to know. That's terrible. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Is that my friend Edward?
You guys, right now I'm in the back of the Chuck E. Cheese and I'm gonna show
How
you
do you
guys
get in
an
the back?
exclusive look. Where does Chuck E. Cheese live at?
Okay. Where does he live?
So are you gonna show me where he lives at? Right this way. And why
I'm
you
curious
have
of
him
where
in
Chuck
here?
E. Cheese lives too.
Holy.
This is the back rooms of Chuck E. Cheese? What's going on in the back of Chuck E. Cheese? Oh! Whoa, that is Chuck E. Cheese! Okay, why was he just like... So that's what Chuck E. Cheese does when no one sees him. He just stands there and just watches. Chuck E. Cheese is scary. Oh man, this looks like an old animatronic. What's going on here?
There is a secret about Chuck E. Cheese's. The company doesn't want you to know.
Another secret?
If you ordered a pizza from them a few years ago, it probably came out looking something like this.
Yeah, it
the
did.
pieces looked
It always
so
looked a little
mismatched
uneven.
that people started to believe the company was reusing
I remember
uneaten
that.
slices, piecing them together like a puzzle to form a new pizza.
So
Chuck
many
E. Cheese's,
conspiracies
of
about
course,
it.
denied these allegations, but there's still no explanation as to why these pizzas look this way.
You know what? That is true. All the times that Chuck E. Cheese is like, hey, we don't reuse our pizza. But then they never, ever explain to us why their pizzas look so uneven. They should at least like show us like a tutorial. Like, how are they making the pizzas and why do they always come out like this? That's always going to keep me up at night. CEC animatronics shut off for the night. Wait, is this a video of them getting shut off? Okay, they're all singing. And then they were just all off.
I went dumpster diving at an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese and I found some actually cool things.
No way.
Making my way to the first dumpster, the only thing I saw was this Among Us doll, so I went down there and I grabbed it. This is a pretty weird find, but honestly, it's kind of cool, so I decided to take it with me.
Weird find.
As I was making my way to the other dumpster...
Ew. What happened?
Ouch. What the hell? At the other dumpster, I didn't really see anything at first, just a bunch of boxes, so I decided to jump in there.
Ew.
The first thing I found was this GoPro Hero 2.
What? There's just a GoPro and a Chuck E. Cheese trash can?
Next to
Ain't
it,
no
though, I found
way.
this Apple Watch. Now this is insane. An
I
Apple
don't
Watch
believe
and a
any
Chuck E.
of
Cheese.
this.
That's crazy.
He has got to put these in the trash.
Later, I found this mini phone. I don't know if it
There's
turns on,
no
but still,
way.
that's a
In a
mini
Chuck E. Cheese
phone.
trash can? Please.
After like 5 minutes of searching, I found this selfie stick in the box. Never been opened, so I thought that was
I
pretty
don't
cool
believe
too.
this man.
Anyways, this is everything I found while dumpster diving at an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna go to my abandoned local Chuck E. Cheese and dumpster dive and make some money because he just had a whole shopping haul from the dumpster. Thank you, Chuck E. Cheese, for giving us dumpster prizes. All right, so this next video already looks terrifying. We'll take a look at it. Oh, this guy's dancing. Chuck E. Cheese is standing behind him. Whoa, he's busting it down. Okay.
Chuck, give me the mic, man.
Chucky didn't like that. He had no reaction.
Give me the mic, yo.
Oh, he's getting Chuck E. Cheese's face. Oh, Chucky literally turned his eyes. He's like, you do not grab my ear, sir, and you do not disrespect my microphone. This guy was like, Chucky don't like me, and I'm okay with that. But that was pretty funny. He was busting it down. Oh, okay. If you ever wondered what it's like working at Chuck E. Cheese, she is going to sum it up for us. Let's take a look. Okay, I am kind of curious of what it's like working at a Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, okay. Whoa, okay, they're dancing with the costume. Wait, why are they getting locked in the freezer? Now they're so, okay. I guess the Chuck E. Cheese employees are a little bit, I don't even know. Honestly, it does kind of look fun. It looks like they're living their best life. Oh, if I wasn't doing YouTube, honestly, I'd probably be working at Chuck E. Cheese too. Why does this kind of look fun? They're playing arcade games. They're having a good time, honestly. Like, now I want to work at Chuck E. Cheese in my free time, okay? Imagine getting to, like, be the rat. I want to be the rat. He thought he was picking him up? What? Let's take a look at this video.
Okay.
Oh, he's so excited. Who's he gonna see? Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh, that was so nice.
Oh, Chucky's like, hi.
Oh, it's so nice.
He thought Chuck E. Cheese was gonna pick him up, so he just jumped and plopped onto the ground. No! That was so sad, but honestly, that was so funny. I'm sorry for laughing. POV, you decided to visit the Chuck E. Cheese while first and almost throw hands with Chucky. Wait, I'm so lost. Are they being for real right now?
You decide to visit Chuck E. Cheese while fursuiting and almost throw
What am I watching? What is going on here? Wait, what is Chuck E. Cheese doing to the fursuiter? Why is he like getting on all fours? Like, oh my gosh. I have no words right now. Why is there a furry at Chuck E. Cheese? Well, technically Chucky's a furry too, so maybe Chuck E. Cheese really is furry nation. I don't judge. Oh, people breaking the Chuck E. Cheese clock ride part 7. I could break the Chuck E. Cheese clock ride. Anyways, I think I have before. Okay, I remember like going up to like a certain point and the whole thing just oh, okay, is it gonna actually break?
Fasten seatbelt to start.
Oh yeah, it did that to me too. It was like fasten seatbelt and then the whole thing just went oh man, we love this ride. This is the best Chuck E. Cheese ride. It traumatized all of us. Please stay seated. Wait, did they just not even break it? It just wouldn't even start. Oh, that's rough. Oh, okay. I can't believe this is my job. Okay. Why are they crying? Oh, because they have to be Chuck E. Cheese? It's not that bad. What is with his teeth? Okay, maybe it's a little bad. CEC animatronics getting shut off for the night. We all know these little guys are a little quirky at night. I don't trust any of these, but let's see. I'm actually so curious. So they're singing, you know, and then they just stop and they fall asleep. Look at them. Chuck E. Cheese has his ears down. They all are kind of like slunched over. They do look a little weird. Honestly, I'm curious of what they do at night. I wish I could spend a night inside of Chuck E. Cheese, like 24 hours, actually, like buy the animatronics, like overnight and like watch them. That would be so sick. I want to do that so bad. Oh, wait, what is going on here? Pasquale? Wait, I've never seen him before. Oh, he's busting it. Oh, he's just doing some motions. Oh, whoa, Helen, Henny, okay. Chuck E. Cheese, I've never seen these other mascots. And the dog, Jasper, oh wow, and Mr. Munch, okay. So they all have mascots? I need to see this again. I've never seen all of these Chuck E. Cheese mascots. I wonder why they were all out. And what if every Chuck E. Cheese had all these mascots? That would be so much cooler. They should definitely do that. It'd be like a furry meetup, and I'm down for that. Whoa, okay. What is going on here?
This Chuck E. Cheese still has the animatronics after it was announced that they will be getting rid of them all.
Yeah, they're getting rid of them all, and it breaks my heart.
Creepy. I used to love these things
like
as a
them,
kid, and it'll be pretty sad when these eventually
It's gonna
go.
be
but
so
I definitely won't be in a
sad.
room with them alone.
I would
Make sure
be
to like and
in the
subscribe.
room alone with them. I want to stay overnight. Okay, that sounds really bad. I don't know, but like these animatronics are just so nostalgic, okay? Like I don't want them to leave. Like when they leave, just having a dance with her is just not gonna feel right. I just wish that they would like do a revamp of them or do something new or give them a little makeover, make them look fresher, and then put them back inside of the Chuck E. Cheese's because this is so heartbreaking. Oh, why does this one look short? I don't know. What's going on here?
Chucky, don't look away from me. Look at me.
He's listening.
Look at me. You.
He did a side
Don't turn
glare.
away
He
from
did
me.
a
Look at me
big
right
side
now.
eye.
You turn and give me the
You
respect.
turn
that I
right
deserve.
now, Chucky. Oh,
That's
he
what I
turned.
thought.
He fully turned. He was like, okay, I hear you. And he went from here to here. That was creepy. It really is like they're listening. They know something that we don't know. And I'm trying to find out what secrets they're hiding from us. Oh, wait. Why is this me? People who don't know, it's just Chucky. They didn't spell Chucky's name right. Cheese. They took my video. FNAF fans. I was in an edit about FNAF fans and it got 400,000 likes? No. What are they trying to say? That I don't know FNAF exists? I'm well aware. I believe Chuck E. Cheese is connected to FNAF. That's why I was doing a full inspection on all the animatronics, okay? Of course I know that. I was just curious. Whoa, okay, this little kid here is going up to Helen. I don't know why Helen looks like that. It's a really old version of her. But what happens here? So she's just like playing with Helen. Okay, I don't think this is gonna end well. Hugging Helen, all right. Whoa, her eyes! Her eyes turned red! Oh my goodness, did you guys see that? That was weird. Okay, this one's never gonna end well either. Anytime it's a little kid trying to crawl up onto the Chuck E. Cheese stage, I'm prepared mentally to see something not end very well. But let's take a look. This little girl's jumping up by Chuck E. Cheese, of course. Trying to like get up by him and be like, hi Tucky, I'm your biggest fan. I feel like we all did this as kids though, because we were all curious. I definitely did this and I'm still doing it. No remorse, I don't care how old. Oh my gosh, whoa, that freeze frame. Okay, that was scary. He like was about to go forward for her and of course there's the FNAF jump scare at the bottom. But you know, that's weird. But yeah, I feel like it did traumatize me as a kid. Now it's just more exciting. But you know. Creepy Chuck E. Cheese mouse comes after a child clearly scared of it. What? What are they talking about? Chucky? Whoa, Chucky! She's scared, brother! Why is she so scared of Chuck E. Cheese? Why are they all so terrified of him? He's just a nice guy who likes to play arcade games and eat pizza and dance. It's not that deep, okay? It's like they've never met a furry before. Whoa, why is Pasquale all around town again? I don't understand. I've never seen this animatronic before. Not animatronic. Mascot of an animatronic. Pasquale himself, obviously. Why is he trying to play with a pillow pizza? Bro, that is not a real pizza. His mascot is actually kind of scary. I can't deny it. Someone tried to take his pizza? That was just so rare. What was the point of that? I don't even know what I just watched. Okay, well this is apparently scary true ghost stories from Chuck E. Cheese. Let's take a look.
Here are some real Chuck E. Cheese ghost stories.
Okay.
I was excited for the new Chuck E. Cheese down the street to open. The location took up an old restaurant my grandma used to take me to growing up.
All right.
My birthday was coming up and I wanted to be the first one of my class to have my party there.
Who wouldn't
we were
be?
having a great time and this random boy came to play some games with us.
Oh.
I remember playing the clown game with him. He looked a little strange. His clothes were a little dirty, but he was nice. When it was
That's
time to eat,
weird.
I invited him over, but he disappeared. It was weird, but I didn't think anything nothing of it. When it was time to leave, my parents were pulling out of the parking lot and I saw him staring at me through the window.
What?
I had a really weird feeling, and for some reason I never wanted to go back.
That's so creepy.
That was so scary. Like, where did he go? And
yeah,
why was
where did he
staring at him through the
go?
window?
Like, what? Was he a ghost? Was he not? I mean, I would assume he was a ghost, but like, I guess ghosts can look real or pretend to be like real beings and sound and look and act and feel real, which is so scary. And then he just disappeared. I want to go to a haunted Chuck E. Cheese and investigate. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video of the craziest Chuck E. Cheese TikToks on the internet. Comment down below, do you guys want me to go back to a Chuck E. Cheese? They did recently just take all of the animatronics out of my local Chuck E. Cheese, which breaks my heart. So, I will do a little road trip for y'all if you guys want me to go back. Smash the like on today's video. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I'll see all of you lovely people in the next one. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other channels linked down below, and see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.